And that was the beginning of, a 6 year journey between boot camps and schools and military schools and boarding schools, starting at around 11, 12 years old.
And for you, so much of your story centers around these teen rehab centers, rehab with air quotes, that were really abuse in the name of treatment, especially the WWASP ones. I'm sure as your story unfolds, people will want to know this. So we'll just start with this question. What was it that caused your parents to decide that you needed to go there? Because obviously they didn't know that it was bad. So what was the motivating factor there?
Definitely, definitely. So, my parents were like kind of traditional Indian parents growing up, and they wanted their kids to stay home, to study, to be, head first into the books. And which, I was a very smart kid growing up. I always had good grades, but I always talked back to my teachers, and I always wanted to be, and my parents, and I wanted to be out and about. And I didn't want to stay inside. I wanted to go play tennis, to go run around the neighborhood, to play hide and go seek. And my parents really didn't like these things. They really wanted me at home studying. And the older I got, the more I wanted to do, and the less they wanted me to do. So, at an early age, my dad taught me how to drive. The family at 11 years old, I think 12, I looked like a 15 or 16-year old. So he kind of, was like, okay, let me give him a shot. And that quickly led into me sneaking his car out at night. In the middle of the night, I would, yeah, I'd put it in neutral, roll it down the driveway, and then just go for a joyride, go to Taco Bell and Crystals and pick up friends and get food. And one of those nights, unfortunately, I was pulled over by the police in my local small hometown. And the police knew my parents actually, so they called them. And instead of going to tennis camp in Louisiana the next day, the Nike tennis camps, I was actually headed off towards my first, quote unquote rehab facility in Ensenada, Mexico, Baja California, called Casa by the Sea by the Worldwide Association of Specialty Programs. And that was the beginning of, a 6 year journey between boot camps and schools and military schools and boarding schools, starting at around 11, 12 years old.